Welcome to the first episode of Optimism on the Rocks.
Yes.
We've already got our cocktails ready. My name's
They
Derek.
did not turn out.
This is Mariah. We had a plan for the cocktail. It was supposed to be layered. It didn't work out.
We'll share
But,
a video.
Yeah, but not everything works out all the time.
No. Can I talk about the cocktail?
Sure.
I don't remember what it was called. But essentially, it's bourbon, lemon juice, shaken with egg white. And then you layer red wine on top, and it's supposed to be two different colors. Instead, it mixed together.
And now it's purple.
Which is kind of what's going to happen here, I think.
Yeah. I mean, kind of like we put this all together. It's all smashing together. It's perfect.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Why do people hit their drink on the table?
I don't know. I've done it since I was, in university, I think.
Is it an older person thing? Because I feel like younger people don't do that.
That's potentially true.
And then I do it, and I'm like, oh, I've just aged myself.
Yeah.
So then I do like a fake, I was just getting a better grip of the drink.
I know they do it on Letterkenny as well. I don't know why. Maybe it's a small town thing.
That could be too. I don't think they do it in the States.
I don't think
when
so.
I've taken shots with people in the States.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So.
Okay, so today's episode is about personality tests because I have become obsessed with this cube test and made everyone that I know do it. So I'm going to make Derek do it. And if you want to do it, please do it as well because I'm going to tell you a little bit about yourself. And Derek loves personality tests.
They're the best. They're my favorite. It's going to tell me everything I need to know about myself for sure.
As much as he loves me pulling him into doing a podcast. So, this personality test is, you can read this.
I can read it.
It's a fact.
Okay, perfect. I love facts.
And I don't want to read the name because it's too hard to read.
Japanese psychology test from Kokology book series created by Tadahiko Nagao and Isamu Saito, in 1998.
Yes, pardon. I couldn't. That's good. I'm impressed, actually. Not actually, I'm just impressed. Okay, so this cube test I'm super excited about because it tells you a little bit about yourself, and when you ask other people, you learn a lot about them. So I love personality tests. Derek?
I love telling people why personality tests, I mean, they're fun, and you can do them, but they're mostly bullshit.
I disagree, but we're going to continue, and you can make your own
perfect
assumption about
I'm ready. Also, keep an open mind.
I love it. Okay, so the way this test works is there's 7 things that I'm going to say, and you just imagine them as they come to your head first. Don't change your mind when you listen or when you see it in your head. Don't change it. Always just stick with the first thing that I say. Okay?
Perfect. I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Visualizing.
You're
ready,
visualizing.
It's in my mind palace. I'm ready to go.
Okay. So the first thing is an open field.
Okay.
Think about how big it is, what it's filled with, what the surroundings are like. Got it?
It's perfect.
Okay, so
Do I tell you what it is?
not yet. No,
Okay.
you wait.
Perfect.
You wait.
All right.
Okay, so the rest of the things that I'm gonna say are gonna be inside that field. Okay, so don't try to put them separately. You stack them all in there. Okay.
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 In the field. Here we go.
In the field. Okay, so number 2, imagine a cube. Think of what the size of that cube is, what it's made of, the surface of what the cube is.
Okay.
Maybe there's a color. Maybe it's transparent. And if it's transparent, can you see inside? These are the perks of working at home. You can hear my dog barking, possibly. So we may edit that out. Okay. Now, is your cube on the ground? Is it floating?
Wait, am I in the field, or is just the cube in the field?
That's up to you.
Okay.
If you've
Perfect.
decided that you're in there, that's on you, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Done.
No more questions,
Ready?
okay? I'm just kidding.
I mean, it matters what the cube is, because where the cube was to start with, and then you started adding in caveats.
I'll take it.
Perfect.
Okay, you got your cube. You're
Cube.
good.
I'm ready.
Okay. And I said ground floating where it is in the field. Great. Question 3. Now imagine a ladder. Okay?
Okay, got a ladder.
How long is the ladder? Where is the ladder? What's the distance from the cube to the ladder?
Okay.
Maybe what is the cube made, or what is the ladder made of? You got it?
Got it.
Okay. Now 4. Imagine a horse. Think of what the color of the horse is. What is it doing? Where in relation is it to the cube? Got it?
Got it.
Question 5. Imagine flowers. Where in the field are these flowers? How many are there? Maybe they are colored, maybe they're not, maybe they're like a specific type, maybe they're a general type, maybe there's different bunches. You got it?
Having a hard time with flowers.
Good. I get it. I need a drink break anyway.
Okay.
So you just imagine your flowers.
No, I've got flowers. Boom, flowers. Ready to go.
Okay. 6. Weather. What's the weather like in your field with all your things now? Is it rainy? Is it sunny? Is it foggy? Is it whatever other weathers you can imagine?
Okay.
There's a tornado. I don't know. That's your field. You got it.
I got the weather's it's nice.
Okay. Go ahead. Number 7. Picture a storm.
But you told me to imagine the weather.
But
now there's a storm.
Now you picture the storm.
What if there was already a storm?
Well, that's your field, man. I can't tell you.
Okay.
Now you have to picture a storm.
Okay, I got a storm.
Where is the storm in relation to your cube? Is it off in the distance? Is it above your cube? Is it going crazy? Is it just passing through?
Okay.
You got it?
Got it.
Okay. Tell me about your field.
Cool. So I got a nice, big, wide open wheat field. We're in the heart of the prairies. It's it's not fully grown wheat, but you could like stand in there and be like waist high, ish.
Okay.
Waist high wheat field.
So the field represents your mind.
Okay.
How far do you say the field went?
I mean, it's a standard,
I
quarter.
mean, we're in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can see a
Saskatchewan.
long ways.
Okay.
There's wheat as far as the eye can see, as far as I'm concerned. But that's not really true. I was closer to the edge of the field, so you can still see like the road, but
Okay.
if you look out in the distance, it's field as far as you can go.
That's interesting, but
Yeah.
okay. So the size of the field is your knowledge of the world and how vast your personality is.
I mean, as we all know, that is 100% accurate. Thank you very much, personality test.
The condition of the field is what your personality looks like at first glance. Was it kind of dry and dead?
I mean, it's growing. Like we're having a.
Is it healthy?
It's healthy, I
Okay.
think. It's a healthy wheat field.
Sounds very optimistic.
I mean, we'll see. I guess.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
On the rocks.
Yeah.
To this drink that didn't work out, but it actually
I
tastes
mean, it
really
tastes
good.
pretty good, and I don't like red wine, so
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, it's fine.
Oh.
I mean, like I wouldn't drink red wine just on its own. Like I wouldn't just
Really?
have a glass of wine. That's not my jam.
That's next podcast.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Good to
Talk
know.
about vino.
We'll have a wine. No, we're not doing that.
Okay.
Okay. And that's all for the field.
Okay, field in good shape. Let's go.
Great. Okay, so the cube represents you.
Perfect.
Tell me about it.
I mean, there's only one cube that matters, and it's a Rubik's Cube, and that's what is in my head. But that's also why I asked you where it was, because like when
Yes.
you said imagine a cube, it was like I'm holding a cube.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm holding the Rubik's Cube.
So it's small.
Small.
Okay.
Small cube.
So the size is supposed to represent your ego.
I mean,
But
okay.
I read the book because I did some investigating because there's a lot of people who have really weird cubes and I needed to know more.
Okay.
So what they actually say is if it's a big cube, it could mean that you have a huge ego, but also you could be a little bit more introspective, or maybe you have plenty of interests, so you're focused on all the inside stuff.
So it could be all of those things, hey?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, wait.
This all sounds very scientific.
It makes the people with the big ego
Just like
feel
you got the
better
big
about
ego,
themselves.
there's big egos. Oh, don't worry, it's not a big ego. It just means you like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I had a medium ego in mine, so that's
Okay,
okay.
well, you have to tell me about your
Okay.
cube later. We're talking about my cube right now. My
Are
very
you
small,
sure your cube wasn't big?
small cube, 100% small cube.
Okay, so the small cube, it's a little bit more about, if I could read my writing, that would also help. Uh oh, you're more focused on what's out there rather than what's inside. What's
Of
going
my
on?
cube?
Yeah, what's going on in the world rather than like introspective.
I mean,
Oh,
okay, sure.
oh, look at that.
Yeah,
Look at
yeah, I
that.
do zero introspection.
And medium is just acceptance of being average.
I mean, well, there's always that. I guess this cube could have got smaller, so that seems about right.
I love it. Okay. So the surface is essentially your soul's skin.
Okay.
Did your Rubik's Cube, was it just different colors?
Yeah,
Did you see
it's all
one?
mixed up.
All mixed up colors?
All mixed up.
Okay. So the surface is what's visibly observable about your personality or what you want other people to think. Which is funny because you're a bunch of different colors, and I've got like a whole color breakdown here.
Uh-huh.
But I don't want to. You
Yeah, I
can't
mean,
be
we're
all
not-
the colors.
I mean,
I would say
can be all the
because you're
colors.
being a Rubik's Cube, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, see, I feel like I qualify in the special cube category.
I would say
Yeah.
you are special.
Okay, all right. Perfect. Well, let's talk about your cube in a minute. We'll see how that goes.
The texture. If it's smooth, it means you're gentle, not out to hurt others or make them feel uncomfortable. If it's rough, you're a little bit more straightforward, honest, no matter what, even if it makes people feel bad. And if it's bumpy, spiky, you're probably out to criticize and make people feel inferior.
You probably also don't know what a cube is.
What?
Well, I mean, if it's bumpy and spiky, it's probably not a cube
Well, if
anymore.
someone makes like a sandpaper cube.
I mean, but that would be a rough cube. Like, it's bumpy and spiky is like basically
Yeah.
not even a cube anymore.
Well, someone might. Actually, I haven't had anyone say that it was like spiky.
Yeah.
I had someone say it was a small metal cube with rounded edges.
Yeah,
it's like-
I mean, that's fine. Oh, but like,
It's not spiky. Actually haven't had anyone say spiky.
it's because if you told someone to think of a cube, they're not thinking with spikes on it.
They might. I'm gonna find someone.
If
If someone pictured a cube that was spiky, please message me. I need to know.
Yeah, I would love to hear about it because we can.
That
We know everything about you.
they'll probably be trolling us anyways.
Yeah, probably.
Those are people out to criticize, which is fine. We have a place for you. The colors. There's a lot of colors, so if you had a different color, message us and I will tell you what it means, because there's a lot of really cool stuff about that. If it's transparent, you let others know how you're feeling on the inside, and you're confident to show your inner thoughts, and you're deeply sincere. That's me.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And inside my cube?
I mean, it seems right. if I had to toss anything out there.
I mean, this is pretty accurate.
I mean, yeah, we're crushing right now.
Okay. Water, ice. You let external elements influence you completely, and you're sensitive to social pressures. I haven't had anyone say water, ice yet, which is interesting.
I am surprised that no one would have said ice cube.
Yeah.
Ice cube would be a very standard cube in my mind that
Yeah.
someone would think about when prompted with cube.
But that's the thing, is it could mean something different. So like an alcoholic might like the sound of a cube, an ice cube, and it might feel different to someone who's like doesn't like being cold, right? And they're like, oh, it's an ice cube. I don't know. That's the thing about the cube test, is it's like the cube actually means more to you than it means to someone else.
That's the thing about all personality tests.
But it helps though.
You get to fill in the gaps.
But it helps though, because then it's what it means to you, right? I'm telling you. Okay, 2 more things about the cube
Perfect.
part. Hollow, you're primarily concerned about your outside appearance, but it doesn't mean that you don't have anything to offer.
I mean, the cube's got a bunch of internal mechanisms going on there. I think that.
Yeah, actually, what do you think? We do have a Rubik's Cube here because I mean, I might have known what
I
his
mean,
cube test
we don't want to
was.
tell you how the sausage is made, but we may have already done this before. But though I am.
Oh, it's like a ball in there, actually.
Yeah,
That's cool.
but yeah, no, I did not change any of my answers. My answers are all the same
Yes.
as
But Derek learned how to do a Rubik's Cube. Would you like to start?
God. Okay.
By the
Got
time
it.
I finish talking about this,
You got it.
maybe by the end you'll believe that this personality test is real. Okay. So if it's metal or rock, it means you have solid integrity and you can't be influenced by external forces. You might be dominant and consistent.
I mean, I've never
You
been
can't
hit
get
on
in.
before, but
Well, yours wasn't made of metal. Yours is a Rubik's Cube.
that's fair. It's
Tough
pretty
to,
fragile,
tough
I guess.
to get into. Until someone Googles how to do it. I think it's by personality tests. That's why. Okay. As you're doing that, the ladder.
Yeah.
So the ladder represents your goals. Tell me about it.
Oh, I mean, the ladder, is a very specific ladder. It is from the NCAA championship. I believe it's a Werner ladder, but it is steel. They use it after a team wins the championship. They go up and they cut the net off of like of the rim. They use that. That's the very specific ladder that they use for that.
Okay.
I mean, shout out to Warner because that's the ladder I thought of. So the advertising works. Is basically what I'm saying.
Oh my god. What I like about this is you haven't created anything in your whole brain. You just picked items that you immediately thought of.
I mean, I don't know. I don't. What is? Yeah, that is true though.
I came up with some random, creative, imaginary.
So yeah, I basically what actually I am learning is that I am not creative at all. Because yeah, I wait till you get to the horse part.
I can't wait. Okay, so how long was the ladder? Was it longer? Was it tall?
It's a standard like what's that like a not like it's probably like an 8-foot ladder I would say.
Okay, and was it close to your cube?
No, it's kind of off in the corner.
Off in the corner.
Well, like,
just, like
not.
way over
It was
the
just
distance,
like
get
yeah,
out of
corner
here.
of the field.
Get
I
out
didn't
of
really
here,
care about the ladder at all. It was just there. It's like I mean, what's it doing in the wheat field? You don't need a ladder in a wheat field. It's just a ladder. It was just hanging out. It's like it's propped up though. Wasn't lying down. You know, it's propped up. A-frame. Boom.
I had one person say their ladder was laying down. That was interesting.
That is interesting.
I like that one very much. Okay, so the length of the ladder was long, I would say, especially considering your cube is a Rubik's Cube. Your goals are a little bit more far-fetched and difficult to attain.
I mean, if I had goals, they would be
Yeah,
far
you know
away,
what-
I guess.
You know what a good goal is?
Yeah,
Is becoming famous.
becoming famous podcasters. What up?
See you in 3 months when we're millionaires. From our merch store.
We're gonna be so famous.
I don't want to be famous. Then how can I go grocery shopping without people bothering me?
That's the best part of being famous is then you get other people to do your grocery shopping for you.
Or being famous in Saskatchewan.
Although you could
Nobody
just
knows
no
who you
one cares.
are. Okay, so the distance from your cube, you were far, so you're putting in the least amount of effort. Not good.
The distance from a cube from the ladder?
Yeah, you said it was far away. It was just hanging off over in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, I
So
guess that
it's
makes
not-
sense.
it's not important.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
You're
I
like-
mean,
Those goals are interesting, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's totally fair, by the way. I do not.
Oh my gosh, are you a personality?
Yeah,
with
I'm a
believers
believer.
now?
I'm a believer.
Okay. All right, I want to hear about this horse.
Well, I mean, that is a standard Budweiser Clydesdale.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's right. I thought of yet another
I
thing.
don't know what color that is.
I mean, it's like just a big. I mean, it's a giant horse,
Okay.
but they're like brown. There's a brown horse.
Okay, and what's it doing?
I mean, it was just hanging out, just chilling.
Was it near the cube?
I mean, it's like between me and the ladder, maybe. Like where
Oh.
like
That's interesting.
Oh,
Between
okay.
you and the ladder.
Well, I mean, like it's there. It's a big field. He's probably chewing on some fucking
Okay.
wheat.
So the ladder is pretty far away
I
then.
mean, it's not that far away. It's far enough that I can see it.
If the horse
Like,
is
if it
the
was
same-
all the way across the field, I wouldn't be able to see the ladder, but I can see it.
Okay. Well, that's good. Okay. So your horse is your ideal partner.
Is it
So
okay?
it's
Looking for a Clydesdale.
If there's a Clydesdale, please comment.
Which is like fine, by the way.
I
I'm not
love
shaming
it. I don't know
Clydesdales,
what
by
a
the way.
Clydesdale
It's
is.
a big horse. It's like
Just
really
it's
big.
the name of a horse?
Yeah, it's a kind of
Like
horse.
a type of a horse.
Well, it's like a.
All I can think about is Zelda, and they have these giant horses that you have to.
Yeah, it's like it's bigger than a normal horse. Like
Okay, cool.
I don't know. It's not like you probably wouldn't ride a Clydesdale
Oh.
because you could like use
Are
it
they
to like pull
wild?
a wagon and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But it would be larger than
Larger.
someone would ride normally. I would say.
Oh, okay. Well, I learned something. So your horse was just hanging out in the background.
Yeah, he's just. I mean, at the time he was not munching on the wheat, but like now I like to think that he was.
And it's interesting that it's a he.
I mean, I guess. Why is that interesting?
I mean, it's your ideal partner.
Look, I finished the cube.
Nice. How long was that? Let me see.
I mean, not that long.
A little timer there. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
I could do it faster, but I won't.
Okay, I believe you.
I don't want to embarrass you on camera.
Yeah, I would find it very embarrassing.
Okay.
I am not secure.
Okay, so a brown horse is comfort and reliability. If you chose white, you'd want loyalty and trust. And if it was black, you'd want dominant, seductive, and sophisticated. And this is an ideal partner. So sometimes
Okay.
people pick these, but it's not necessarily their partner. It's maybe what they would like to see in their partner. Or maybe they're unhappy and they want a new partner.
Well, we're still drafting partners over here, so I don't know, you know.
Well,
What are we looking for again? Comfort and reliability?
comfort and reliability.
Yeah.
And somewhere between your goals.
Yeah, we're looking for like a 65 Lincoln. Just nice, big boat, nice and comfy, air suspension.
Oh. Okay.
I mean,
First snort of the podcast. Okay,
The inaugural snort.
I want to say what it's doing. So your horse is playing. They don't take life seriously. If they're sleeping or grazing, they're calm and committed. If they're running around, they respect your space and give you alone time. You're
Okay.
just chilling, right?
He's just chilling. He's
Yeah.
chilling. Might be munching some meats, grazing,
Yeah,
hanging out.
I like it.
I like that.
It's a classic horse. Mine was very similar. Brown
Okay.
horse just hanging around. You like whistle at it, it'll come to you. Honestly, it's kind of very much Zelda. Do you play Zelda or no?
I played a lot of Zelda growing up.
Not the new one?
Not the new one. I haven't played the new one.
You like whistle for your horse and the horse comes.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It's amazing.
in Ocarina of Time, which was dating myself, but also
I don't know
what
that one.
it's from the
I'm much
Nintendo
young-
64.
I'm so much younger than you.
You're so much younger than me, which is even better because my favorite Zelda game is actually A Link to the Past, which is for the Super Nintendo.
Mm. What is a Super Nintendo? Just
Hmm,
kidding. Just kidding.
I bet.
Okay, let's move on from the horse.
Perfect. No more horses.
Number 5. The flowers represent your family and friends. Tell me about them.
Cool. I had some like tulips.
Okay,
In the
that's
ditch.
interesting. Tulips in the ditch.
Yeah, they're hanging out in the ditch though. I mean, there's a field of wheat. I'm not putting tulips in the field of wheat. That would be crazy.
Okay. Did they have a color?
I mean, they're mostly red, I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna look into that. I don't
Yeah.
know what that means. Can't be good though.
But I mean,
You don't put your flowers in the ditch.
they're just like growing wild. They're wildflowers, but they're like tulips, I guess. I don't
Okay.
know that much
Well,
about
maybe
flowers.
they're in a ditch because you want to keep them safe from the growth of the wheat.
Well, yeah, the wheat is important.
Your mind is more important than your friends and family.
I mean, I'm not gonna say yes to that question, but also yes.
What if your mom listens to this?
I mean, she will.
She'll be upset.
Love you, Mom.
Shout out to Derek's
Love you,
mom.
Mom.
Maybe in the next podcast you can get a tattoo.
Okay.
Love you, mom.
I mean, sure.
Comment in there if Derek should do that.
If you got any cool designs, I'm down. Love you, Mom.
Okay. Okay, so if you only have a few flowers, it means you just like have a tight knit group of friends. If there's many, you may be a social butterfly. And the location of them, if they're close to the cube, it's like how close you are to them. I would like to know
So,
how
like,
close is this ditch of flowers compared to the horse and the ladder. I feel
so,
like
like,
we're
we're
in a
all
therapy
kind of, like,
session.
hanging out on, like, it's really hard when you, like, start off with field. Field can be very large.
Okay, I tried to let people choose their background. And I was like, choose whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Then someone gave me a living room. They really fucked that up because then, I mean, this person might listen and they'll know that I'm talking about them and it's fine. But then they just like messed the whole scene up. So I'm stuck with field now. Sorry.
I mean, but
It's your imagination.
it's my imagination. My imagination imagined a wheat field. I'm not going to adulterate my wheat field with tulips.
You could have
Even
imagined a
if
tulip
I like
field.
them, I could have imagined a tulip field, but we live in Saskatchewan.
Only one other person said like a wheat field. That's
I mean,
funny. And she actually picked a Rubik's Cube. That is so funny.
Oh, that's very interesting.
She's married. Don't get too excited.
Well, I mean, okay. That's not what I said.
Okay, so now the weather.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
I mean, it's blue sky. Nice day.
Love it.
Yeah.
So optimistic, carefree. If you had rain, it would mean you have some problems in your life.
Who doesn't have problems in their life? What are you talking about?
But they're not at the forefront of your mind.
Yeah. I don't.
Okay.
I mean, like, to be fair, I don't have any problems in my life. It's fine.
If there was fog, you live in uncertainty.
There's no fog.
No fog.
It's just
And
blue
wind.
sky, like very few clouds.
If it was windy, you would worry about the future.
No. It's
Perfect.
nice. It's
Great.
just a very calm day.
Love it.
Yeah.
And then the storm.
So this is where my question came from, because like it is a nice day, there was no storm, and now you're like, there's a storm. I was like, ugh.
Yes.
So it's like way in the distance now. There's a big storm. It's brewing, but it's not really affecting me at all.
So the purpose of the storm is like you've created your perfect scene essentially, and then someone drops a storm on you. How do you handle it? It's how you handle stress. So
yeah,
right?
mine's way off in the distance, I guess.
yeah, so you're like, okay,
totally
stress
fair.
came, but it's kind of over here. It's not part of my everyday life.
Oh, so
It's
you're
kinda
saying
over
the
here.
storm is past?
What?
Oh, you're saying the storm is past then?
Oh, is it coming at
Oh
you?
yeah, I mean the storm is
Oh.
looming. I think this in
coming.
my mind the storm is coming, but like it's way in the distance.
That's the first. I had one person say that their storm was right on top of them. They couldn't handle it. They're like, "You said a storm. Now it's everywhere." And that's how you handle stress and anxiety.
Oh.
So now I've said a storm. You're like, "Oh shit, it's coming."
I mean that makes sense. I procrastinate a lot. I push my problems into the future.
I love it. That's all.
See? But yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's a fun little thought experiment.
But how accurate was it?
I mean, what's accurate, really?
Okay,
Like,
I'll
so,
tell you mine.
yeah, go for it.
So mine was very kind of grassy field, kind of closed off. I could see like green trees, like kind of lush. So I didn't want to go too far. I like a little safe space. And it was a room-sized glass cube. And when I looked inside, it was full of pink furniture and like the funnest place where everyone would want to come. Not come.
Okay.
That's okay. And also the horse was brown. Not in the distance, but kind of close by. And
Was it in the cube or was it outside of the cube? It was not in the cube at all.
I had one person say their horse was in their cube, their ladder was in their cube, and the horse would help them go up the ladder.
It give him a little bump.
They would like go on the horse, and the horse would help climb up the ladder. Isn't that interesting?
I mean, that is a fancy horse.
Right?
I mean,
but like then your partner is you want them so close, like in your cube, to help you reach your goals outside of your cube.
perfect.
Isn't that so cool?
It's sure.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then my flowers were different distances away because I have really close friends. I have further friends. They're kind of just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And then the storm off in the distance, not a big deal.
But your storm isn't like
It's not coming.
impending.
No, it's like just over there. It's like,
Eh.
eh. And my ladder was leaned against the cube. Not much higher than it. Decent.
So it's just like if you need to get on top of the cube, you got access.
Well, it just means that my goals are close to me, but a little bit. You know what is funny about that is when I imagined it, because I did this a while ago, and now I've forgotten, like, I remember my answers, I wrote them down. But I would say that my goals are often very far-fetched. My ladder should be really fucking tall. And medium effort. Because I have too many. I have a few ladders, I think.
So I guess then the other question would be, so is my ladder is literally related to winning a championship. Like you have, it is one of the hardest things that is done in sports, win the NCAA tournament. Right?
Do you want to win an NCAA?
No. I do not care. I don't even really like college basketball that much. I do like watching March Madness though.
I've never heard about this ladder.
I mean, I don't know why that's the ladder that I thought of, other than I am apparently not imaginative at all, and only thought of things that exist in real life, and I put them all together.
Oh my god! You know what? I heard someone say a rope ladder.
That is untenable.
Right?
That is
I don't
terrifying.
even know. What did it say about? It said something about like the strength of the ladder. I didn't write that down in my notes. But if you did this and you want to know a little bit more about your cube, I'm gonna share pictures of what AI created when I put in our cubes. Mine's cute. I like mine. Yours is a little bit weird.
I think mine was fine. I did think it was interesting that AI,
oh yes,
despite knowing what a Rubik's Cube is and that it is a real thing, did not get it right.
No.
Just like makes me kind of not worried about like the AI takeover. It was like 4x5.
Yeah.
And like all one color.
And then one side was a little bit longer too. It didn't make any sense. That Rubik's Cube's not getting solved. I'll tell you that.
I mean
it was like 3 different colors. It was like neutral.
Yeah, it was basically all neutral. It was like white, black, and gray, basically.
Yeah. I'll finish that later.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate that.
Not to embarrass you. I'm very impressed that you did figure this out. That's crazy.
I do think it's I thought it was interesting that I selected a Rubik's Cube without, obviously I did not have one at the time, but that was
that really crappy one that doesn't work.
Yeah, anyone out there, do not buy an official Rubik's Cube. It is bad.
Only buy...
That's a GAN cube. It's like under $20 on Amazon.
Yes. Our first non-sponsor.
GAN,
if you'd like to
sponsor, I'll talk about this cube. It's great. Did really good work.
Actually, it's really good.
Very, very helpful for...
you can actually see the circle underneath, like the... Where I don't know what's going on in that one.
And that one's just awful.
It is
Don't
awful.
buy that.
No.
Unless
you want to just move the stickers around.
Yeah, you could do that too. Also, yeah, this is better. No stickers. They're not peeling off. No. I won't talk about the cube anymore. But yeah, I just figured. I thought it was interesting that I didn't know how to solve a Rubik's Cube, but that was the cube that I picked.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting, especially because, I'm into playing craps. I could have thought of dice. I didn't think of dice. I thought of this, but
someone else thought of dice too, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, I do think it's probably would have been.
That would have never come to my head.
It would have been more likely if you could think of cubes. You know what I mean? Like if you think of one cube, I generally wouldn't think of like a pair of dice, which is how most you would imagine dice in your mind. I would think. Rarely, unless someone said, "Imagine a die."
I'm not a big gambler, so I don't.
Yeah, that seems right.
I'm like snakes and ladders. I think you only need one dice.
Are you gambling on snakes and ladders?
I don't know. I'm not gambling. It's like when people are saying, "Are you playing chess or checkers?" I'm playing snakes and ladders. I'm not playing any of those games.
That's fine. I think.
Like, what happens?
People are obsessed with chess these days. It's weird.
Do you play chess?
I did when I grew up. I was never like ranked or anything.
What does that mean?
So I mean, I do like chess. I think it's interesting. There's like global rankings for chess, and you can have like if you play on like chess.com, it'll give you a ranking of like how good you
Oh.
are, and as you like play against other people, you can gain points or lose points based on their rating and
Oh,
things
cool.
like that.
No,
So,
I didn't know that.
but yeah, but no, I haven't played in a really really long time, so I would not qualify myself as a chess player by any stretch of the imagination.
So checkers?
I mean,
Or what game would you?
I
I
mean,
think you would be playing a high risk game.
I would play. Yeah, I would be gambling. I'd be throwing them dice. And we're playing craps. That's what we're doing. Yeah, I like that. I like playing cards, but mostly like board.
Okay.
Any kind of board games are my jam. But
Oh yeah, you play a lot of board games.
yeah, a lot of board games.
Yeah. So that's why it's interesting that you picked the Rubik's Cube, because I think that it's a little bit of like a challenge
It is a challenge.
to
And-
chat, to talk to you. I feel like you're a very silent person, and you're welcoming. Like people are like, "Oh, a Rubik's Cube, that looks fun," but it's gonna take a while to crack that code. Which is exactly true, I think, about you.
It took me a very long time to figure the cube out. Let me tell you.
And what would you have done before Google?
You
would not- there was no way.
No, that's not true. There's other ways you could have done it. Like, there's other guides. Even
Like
back
a
in
library book?
yeah,
Okay, without outside assistance. could
I
you
would
figure
not
it
have figured it out. I would not have been able to. I am not that smart. I do remember having one as a kid and never being able to do it, for sure.
Well, it's hard. Even when you were trying to explain it to me, I was like, I'm not understanding what you're talking about.
Because I was interested in Rubik's cubes before figuring out how they work.
Yeah.
Just in that I knew that there is a pattern or a series of patterns to do it. I thought it was easier than what it was
Mhm.
when I was actually trying to learn how to do it.
Especially on a really crappy. Can you grab that Rubik's Cube? For the comparison, for anyone watching by video, if not, we'll post a picture. This is the difference between these two Rubik's cubes.
And to be fair, I did learn on the shitty one.
This is the shitty one, and this is the one that actually moves around. This one is like needs arthritis medicine.
Let me tell you,
It's not doing well.
it is significantly more challenging to do. So yeah, again, don't do that.
Yes.
So
So that's why I think it's interesting that you picked this one, because
Yeah.
I would have never thought of this, and I think that it's difficult to figure out. Whereas me, I picked a big glass cube with fun furniture inside. I was like,
everyone can see
come on
directly
inside.
into.
I don't have any secrets.
There are. That's true.
You can ask me anything. I don't have anything to.
But I actually think that getting back onto why this podcast exists, I think that's a lot of it. Is
What?
well, not that you're like
I'm out of notes.
yeah, no, not that you're like an open book or something, but that we have good conversations because it's really you like to ask those questions. I don't
All the
necessarily
questions.
give that information up freely, but I will talk about it. I'll talk about anything.
Yes.
And if people want to ask me questions, I'll answer their questions.
If you have questions for Derek, Please send them
Answer the
to
questions.
us.
I will answer the questions.
we'll have a Derek question. You know what we should do?
Hmm.
Is a Derek. You've seen those videos where they have a shot, like a bottle,
Mhm.
and you can either answer it or take a shot.
I'm
We're
down.
gonna do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm gonna set that up.
hammered.
That's gonna. You're just not gonna answer anything.
Oh, it's gonna be so
I'll
many
just answer
shots.
all of them.
Yeah. I'll be
That would be a
passed out
fun
in the
one.
corner. Yeah, I'm done with that.
Let's do that.
We can do that.
I'll put something in the chat later for that. But I want to go back to the personality
Yeah.
quest. Did we talk about love languages?
We have not talked about love languages.
Do you know your love language?
I mean, not really.
Okay, I need to find that out for you.
I think that could be its own podcast.
It could absolutely be, but that's kind of a personality type of thing too.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like the Myers-Briggs / DISC, which is essentially the same thing. Which, if most of you don't know, there's 4 types, and it's like DISC, so DISC, and D is like dominant. You're gonna be a little bit more direct and say like, "This drink is disgusting."
Make me another.
Where an I would be like, this drink is. I like what you did here. Maybe next time you'll make like another whatever, and then they'll offer to make you a new drink. You
Mm-hmm.
kind of influence them to do something else. A C is a little, I forget, it was like conscientious or something
Yeah,
maybe. I think you're a C, right?
I'm a C. I'm
Yeah.
straight C, like way out on the perimeter of what that was.
What
Uh,
does it mean? You just like
Basically, it's just like
like
I am. It's basically
follow
just
the rules.
analytical. Yeah, follow
Okay,
the rules.
analytical.
I mean, I don't necessarily think I'm like a big rule follower,
Mm-mm.
but I
I don't think
do
it's
want
rules,
to
but like
get. Yeah, I
follow
want
the
to make sure that
steps.
things are correct, right?
Yeah.
I remember.
We're on the opposite spectrum, which
Yeah,
is funny about this, cause like I want to do all these crazy things and I want to go quick and I don't want to think about all the things I have to do at the same
whereas
time.
I am the opposite of that, and I want to make sure that everything is done in a way that makes sense.
Yes. But the problem too with me is that I have a pull, so that doesn't happen very often. So like I'm an I, but then I have like the shading all the way down to C. So then I cause all the chaos, then I'm like, oh, well now I have to do this thing. And then I like flow into there and then I pop back, kind of back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So the S, one of my best friends, she's an S. And I thought S meant like super sensitive or something like that, but it's really just like supportive. So you're kind of in the background. So that person would be like, this drink's not good. I'll just go make myself one. And a C, I feel like wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, no, and that's true. I would just drink the drink, and it's delicious. I appreciate the beverage.
And it actually is okay.
It's fine.
It's not what I wanted it to be, but we're going to try better. We're going to share drink recipes going forward. This one, not so good. I'm still going to share the recipe and the video because I videoed it.
But it's drinkable. I mean,
It's
honestly, it
good.
kind of tastes like a red
Hi.
sangria.
Oh, it
Like
is.
to
Yeah,
me, that's what it
it is
tastes like.
totally. But
Which is interesting because there's no fruit. It's bourbon, lime juice, and wine.
lemon juice
Sorry.
and some stevia.
Yeah. Which is, again, interesting. But it is like, I'll drink it right now. Mm.
I'm gonna share the recipe, and if someone can actually tell me how to properly layer it, that would be fabulous. I would be very happy about that.
Mm.
What else you got about
So what I
personality tests?
So what I think about personality tests is I think it's interesting, and I think that there's some application to it. I think that, but at the end of the day, what I think is you fill in the gap that makes sense, which is when someone says, "Oh, this represents your goals or your ambitions," and it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, it's far away." I mean, I guess that makes sense. I don't really just like, but do I have goals? Of course, I have goals. Everyone has goals,
Right.
right? So when you say, "Oh, how close is it to the cube?" I mean, when you think you just kind of fill in those gaps. It's the same reason that horoscopes are popular.
What is your horoscope sign?
I mean, I'm an Aquarius.
Oh,
I don't.
classic Aquarius. Just kidding. I actually don't know anything about Aquarius.
No one does. It's no one else is an Aquarius. It never happens. But I think what I think about personality tests is just that. Like everyone is more complicated than putting them into a box or making them feel like, this is your personality test says you're this thing, so you should be that thing. It's like I when it comes to doing tasks,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I am more of a C. When it comes to doing karaoke,
That's true.
I love doing
Derek is
karaoke.
very good at karaoke. That was great. Like when I first heard you, I was like, "That's insane." You can hear by his voice; he's clearly good at singing, and he loves compliments.
I so
That's a classic C.
classic C. I don't do well with compliments. Actually, it makes me very uncomfortable.
S's too.
Yeah,
I feel like it's like a DISC thing with S and C are at the bottom.
yeah. But even
Oh,
those things, I still feel like while we use or we've done a lot of work in disc
Mm-hmm.
around those personality tests, and I think it's very it's interesting. It still feels very horoscopy to me in that it puts you in this
Mm.
in a box, not in a
Yeah.
cube, but in a box.
But
But
they say too, you can be a little bit of all the things. That's what they say at the beginning. Like it's a whole. You can be everyone's everything, but you mostly fit in one of the boxes.
Which is fine. But then it's like, so does that mean that you're prescribed to do that thing? Or should you be working on doing something else, right? When we say, oh, like your personality test says that, oh, you can be a little inconsiderate sometimes or something like that. Do you just take that and say,
Oh
well,
yeah.
I guess that's the way I am, so I'll
You
act like
accept
that?
it.
Or should that prompt you to do some self reflection if that's where you think, oh, maybe that's not the way I want to be perceived by other people?
Mm-hmm.
So like, is it impetus for change, or is it just like an excuse to be some way? Like,
Maybe it depends on which one you are in the disc.
maybe.
As an I'm like, oh, what am I? How do I be better?
Mainly what I'm getting at is don't be an asshole and be like, oh, I'm a Gemini, you know.
Yes. Which may or may not be.
Which may or not be true. I do not know.
No, podcast number 2.
Oh, podcast number 2.
Don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole. That's true. I do.
That's our only rule for this podcast. In general.
In general.
In life. Don't be an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they deserve it.
Let me tell you, there's some people who fucking deserve it.
I agree. Maybe. What else?
Yeah. I don't know. We can talk about.
You know what? If you guys have some cool ideas of what you want to hear us talk about, send us a message. We'll add it to our list. We just want to talk about a bunch of random stuff that we're interested in. Maybe it's not always going to be interesting to you, but we love talking about all this crazy shit. We've got an alien podcast coming up, some conspiracy theories. Shout out to Molly, because we're going to be talking about Helen Keller. And maybe some Holly Weird. Maybe whatever we feel like talking about, we're going to talk about it. Because it's our podcast, and that's kind of why we're doing this. Mm-hmm. It's not actually to sell merch or to become famous. It's because we just want to hang out and talk and learn some new shit and learn how to do Rubik's Cubes or whatever it is. So give us some ideas, and we'll think about it.
And yeah, I mean, the main reason why this exists is because we thought it would be funny, and when we said it, everyone was like, yeah, you should do that. So here it is.
Here it is.
This is what we're doing.
I painted a wall in my house.
It looks great.
It worked out.
Yeah.
If you have any ideas of what we should put as Derek's flair, that would be lovely, because nothing we've decided works well. So, or we'll just figure it out on our own, because it's our podcast. So, see you in episode 2.
Bye.